Donald Trump, surprisingly, was not happy about the fact that Jack Smith's briefing was released and all these details about his various efforts to overturn the results of the election and steal it for himself came out. And so he did what presidents do. He took to Truth Social to freak out about it. He had a total freak off. I don't know if there were bottles of lube, but anyway, he says the Democrats are weaponizing the Justice Department against me because they know I am winning. That's not what the polls show, buddy. It's too close. I'll grant you that. It does not show that you're winning. They're desperate to prop up their failing candidate, Kamala Harris, who is, of course, leading in the polls. So it's also a hit job because JD Vance humiliated Tim Walz last night in the debate. I mean, it was a crushing victory. I mean, a lot of polls are saying 51% of Americans think that Vance won and only 49% think that Walz won. A crushing defeat, the likes of which we've never seen before in a debate. But anyway, they say the DOJ is working for the campaign. Not true. It's prosecutorial misconduct. No, there has been judicial misconduct. The Supreme Court and other judges have done some insane things to protect him, but it's just nonsense and nonsense and nonsense, and it goes on and on and on. He turns at some point to all caps to talk about how there's not supposed to be for 60 days prior to the election. I guess anything that challenges him, that's not a thing. I don't know what that would be. He says that it's the worst election interference ever. I'm not going to read all of these, but just you need to know that he's written paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs in the wake of this, tying it to everything. He repeatedly talks about Tim Walz and the debate. He talks about election interference and the third world, and he goes on to Russia for some reason. I don't even know what that has to do with any of this, and just on and on and on until finally he calms down a little bit. He has a Big Mac and he ends his rant with, "I didn't rig the 2020 election, they did." No, that's again, actually the exact opposite of the truth. We had an election that had no more fraud than any other election we've ever had. There were a few people who cast votes fraudulently, many of them Republicans. Didn't have an effect on the election either way, and you didn't like the results, so you tried to steal it. That's what it was. I think the American people need to know about it, which is why I hope someday we have the trial. But this is how he is attempting to, I guess, reassure his base that nothing that's revealed in there is anything they should worry about, Adrienne. I don't know. What do you think?
You know, he continues to deflect, but the thing I got to give to him is he really doesn't change. He has established a precedent. This man is going to lean into the big lie. He's going to lean in to try to dissuade people. He is not going to take any kind of responsibility. And the thing is that I do think his MAGA crowd are going to continue to suck it up. They are going to continue to believe these lies that he peddles. And unfortunately, we are so many of us are so just despondent when it comes to reality, fact, and just logic, that there are people out there who are actually going to believe him, thinking that he is a subject of some witch hunt in some way, when if this were any other candidate in any other universe, everyone would realize this person is not fit for office and he wouldn't even be the nominee for the Republican Party.
Yeah, I really hope that my daughter is not watching right now, and she's probably not because she's only like 13 months old and this is a political talk show. But if she was watching, think about the lesson that you'd learn as a young person. Like, your parents tell you you shouldn't lie. But as a corollary to that, there's almost never any consequences for it. You can tell vicious lies over and over and over that have been debunked, they've been pre-bunked, they've been rebunked. Every kind of bunk. And you can just do it and there's really no consequences. Doesn't matter. Most people don't care. We're such a tribal and partisan culture that we prefer your lies to the other side's truth. I really hope that she's not learning that lesson. And I really hope that we return to an American politics where that's not quite as true. Not that, there won't be any lies, there always will be. That's the foundation of politics. But there was a time when you'd tell a lie and it could hurt you. Like candidacies were sunk as a result of lies, as a result of racial slurs, as a result of conspiracy theories, as a result of being linked to Nazis. That used to be a thing. And I hope that we can get back to it. I don't know if people are saying the Vance Walz debate was like it harkened back to an earlier time. Maybe that is a time that we can actually get back to. If we can finally cast off the anchor that keeps us in these crazy times, which of course is Donald Trump. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.